Now you get so you're talking like a month of milkshakes and
good milk. They weren't mint chocolate chip, but they were good,
and you're just feeding yourself. You're trying to heal up, get the wounds to actually heal, and every time you leave your bed, it's a gut check because you gotta do the wound draining and all that other stuff. And then after a month, things are starting to heal up. At what point were you able to like get yourself out, get yourself in the wheelchair?
I think I was probably after that first. So I spent a week in the ICU, high on morphine. I don't remember much from that time period. And then I get to the ward, and probably after that first week, maybe 10 days on the main ward, I'd be like, all right, I'm going to try and do this myself, guys. And then it took 5 times the length of time, but I did it. And then from then on, I was doing it on my own. And so, that was kind of the biggest milestone for, being in the hospital during that healing period, was being able to do that. And then, as they slowly took tubes away. Mm-hmm. And then the final milestone for being in the hospital at that point was when my wounds were finally sutured, closed, and I got the skin graft. I had to take a skin graft from my left leg and put it on the inside of my right thigh. And once they did that, and they healed that, they checked it out, made sure it was good, then I was ready to be transferred over to Walter Reed. But I still had stitches, all in or staples or stitches, one of the two. And so after that was done, that's when they transferred me over to Walter Reed. And even then, I still had to wait for those stitches to come out before I could get fitted for prosthetics. And I was probably in the inpatient in the hospital for another 2 weeks while I waited for a room to open up in the outpatient housing. So it was pretty similar in those first 2 weeks. I just had the IV line. That's all I had. And, I could go out.
Are they pumping you with antibiotics the whole time? Or what do they got an IV in you for?
Pain medication.
Okay.
And I think it's probably just a standard, just in case something goes wrong, they have quick access. My buddy Daniel, he had a PICC line like straight into his heart.
What's that?
I think it's just a tube. They just put it into your chest, and I guess maybe it's just for quicker access for pain medication. Eesh. So I'd be in the hospital that first month, and they give you the pain button so you can kind of control it yourself. And it'd be funny because it only meters out so much in an hour. You can hit it like once every 5 minutes or something. But in the first week, I'd be kind of passing out, and whenever I woke up, I'd hit it a couple times just to make sure I'm getting that dosage, because I was scared. Like, what happens if this pain button goes away? Like, I don't want to face that. And so they'd come in after an hour, and the nurse would say, you can only hit this thing once every 5 minutes. Like, yeah, I know. I said, well, you've hit it like 200 times the last hour. They're like, oh, well, I just hit it just to, I fall asleep.
Yeah. And so then during that time when you were still had like stitches, and I know we talked about this a little bit, but you had like the triangle thing hanging above you, where you start doing pull-ups and you start trying to do some kind of upper body workout at that time?
Yeah. I mean, once I got to Walter Reed, I met my physical therapist that day, and we set up the time I was going to come in, 7 o'clock for occupational therapy and 8 o'clock for physical therapy. And we'd be just doing stuff on the mat tables. So you don't have to be wearing legs. You can be working on other stuff while you're waiting for that stuff to heal. So, yeah, I'd be doing kind of dips. I raised the arms of my wheelchair up really high, and I do dips. And, they had stuff you could do, like trunk strengthening exercises. I wasn't the first double above knee amputee to come through Walter Reed. We'd been at war for 9 years. Mm-hmm. So they had all of these exercises already set up. So I'd come in and I'd do my exercises, legless for the day, and just work on what I could while we waited for that stuff while we waited for my skin. We're just waiting on my skin basically to heal.